Wool. It's a natural fiber that's used to make everything from clothing to blankets. We associate it with warmth, comfort, and natural fibers. It's a material woven into the fabric of our lives, from cozy sweaters to durable carpets. But behind this seemingly benign material lies a harsh reality, a story of suffering largely hidden from consumers. This isn't just about shearing. It's about an industry built on the exploitation of sentient beings. Today, we delve deep into the dark side of wool production, exposing the systemic cruelty inherent in this industry and exploring the true cost of our clothing choices. The cycle of suffering begins long before shearing. Sheep bred for wool production, particularly merino sheep, are genetically manipulated to produce excessively wrinkled skin and more wool. This unnatural trait makes them highly susceptible to heat stress, fly strike, a painful infestation of maggots, and other health problems. They endure harsh conditions, often confined in overcrowded sheds or barren pastures, with limited access to shelter and adequate food. Lambs are routinely subjected to tail docking and castration, often without pain relief, adding to their early trauma. The focus is solely on maximizing wool yield, with little regard for the animal's well-being. Shearing, the removal of the fleece, is a highly stressful and often violent experience for sheep. Driven by piece rate wages, shearers are incentivized to work quickly, often at the expense of the animal's welfare. Sheep are roughly handled, thrown to the ground, and restrained forcefully. Sharp shears are used to remove the fleece, and in the rush, accidental cuts and injuries are common. These wounds are rarely treated, leaving the sheep vulnerable to infection. The process isn't just physically painful, it's deeply traumatizing, instilling fear and anxiety in these sensitive animals. We'll examine specific shearing techniques, highlighting the potential for injury and the lack of oversight in many shearing sheds. We'll also discuss the use of crutching, the removal of wool around the sheep's rear end, often done to prevent fly strike, but also carried out with speed and often causing injury. Mulesing, a particularly brutal practice prevalent in Australia, is intended to prevent fly strike. It involves cutting off large strips of skin from around the sheep's breech, leaving raw, open wounds. This is done without anesthetic, causing immense pain and suffering that can last for weeks. While some argue that mulesing is necessary to prevent fly strike, there are humane alternatives available, such as careful breeding for less wrinkled skin and regular preventative treatments. The continued use of mulesing highlights the industry's prioritization of profit over animal welfare. We will explore the arguments for and against mulesing, examining the scientific evidence and ethical considerations surrounding this controversial practice. Millions of sheep are transported live across the globe each year, often to countries with lower animal welfare standards. These journeys are long, arduous, and frequently deadly. Sheep are crammed into overcrowded ships, enduring extreme heat, lack of ventilation, and limited access to food and water. Disease spreads rapidly in these unsanitary conditions, and many sheep die during transit. The surviving animals are often subjected to brutal slaughter methods upon arrival. We'll investigate the conditions on these ships, documenting the suffering endured by these animals and highlighting the urgent need for stricter regulations and a shift towards local processing. Beyond the direct cruelty to animals, the wool industry has a significant environmental footprint. Overgrazing contributes to land degradation and soil erosion, while the use of pesticides and other chemicals pollutes waterways. The production of wool also requires significant energy and water resources. We'll examine the environmental impact of the wool industry in detail and explore sustainable and cruelty-free alternatives such as organic cotton, hemp, linen, and recycled materials. We'll discuss the benefits of these alternatives and encourage viewers to make informed choices that are both ethical and environmentally responsible. As consumers, we have the power to make a difference. By choosing not to buy wool products, we can reduce the demand that fuels this cruel industry. We can support brands that prioritize animal welfare and use sustainable materials. We can also advocate for stronger animal protection laws and raise awareness about the hidden suffering behind wool production. Every conscious purchase is a step towards a more compassionate and sustainable future. The story of wool is a story of exploitation, a story that needs to change. We can make informed decisions and create a world where animals are treated with respect and compassion. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. See you until next time from Free Full Documentaries.